Welcome
to the joy of coding.
Hello, and welcome to episode 141 of The Joy of Coding. My name's Mike Conley. We're back today, hacking on Firefox things. It's been a little while. I skipped last week. I was traveling. And yeah, so we're back at it today. Let me just quickly open a can of beverage. Yeah, very nice. Today's episode is brought to you by Canada Dry Diet Ginger Ale. I am not sponsored actually at all, but my thirst is being quenched today by Canada Dry Diet Ginger Ale. Though if Canada Dry, you want to send me some sponsorship, I will redirect those funds to the foundation. All right, let's take a look and see what we're doing today. Today is June 6th, 2018. This is episode 141. If you're new to this, a reminder, or I'm going to set the tone here. No plan survives breakfast. I kind of know what I want to do today, even though I haven't actually added any bullets here. I don't exactly know how things are going to turn out. If this is your first time watching this, that might not be what you expected, but for long-time viewers, this is exactly probably what you expected. I'm actually capturing myself working on bugs. Things might go wrong. I don't have the solutions pre-written or anything. I'm going to be trying to solve things like I normally would and investigating things, and so we might get surprised, we might get sidetracked, we might get down a rabbit hole, who knows, but you're along for the ride. Think of this as like a ride along, in that like take your friend to work day, take your kid to work day or something, except like instead of none of you are my children, but like you're people on the internet. Take people on the internet to work day. That's what's happening. I want to let you know that this agenda that we're looking at is something that you can actually click on, and as I update it, it will also update if you reload the page. So that might be useful to you, and ways you can get access to it for clicking on links is in the following places. If you're watching this on the new Air Mozilla, it's in the handouts section, which will be on either side of this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the video description, which should still be down below this video. And if you're watching this on Twitch, well, I'm about to drop it in the Twitch chat. Let me just drop you a link in the Twitch chat. Agenda, boom. And in all the same places, there's also a link to rate the episode whenever the episode is done. Let me know what you think. I read all the feedback that comes in. I use it to help shape the series, so do send me your feedback. Let me know what I can do to make the stream better for you. I want to give a quick shout out to the episode guide. I do this every time, but I want to do it again. There's an episode guide. This is completely viewer driven. This is episodes up to 139, so we're out by an episode or two, or just one episode. But these are guides that kind of give you a sense of what happened in the episode. They're pretty short. They don't cover a lot of ground for the most part, but they break down the sort of things I was working on and the stuff that I talked about. And that might be useful to you. And what would be great is if you have your own notes or your own things that you want to add. Maybe you have some corrections or some similar anecdotes or addenda to any of the episodes. You can send me a pull request and I'll just merge it right into the episode guide. If you're not sure what a pull request is or where the repo is, check the agenda. There are links on how to do all that. I'm going to skip the auto transcription stuff for now. Let's just get into working. But first, self-check. Can you hear me? Yes. Am I recording? Yes. Am I streaming? Yes. I'm not dropping frames. All is well. Okay, good. I want to say that next week I'm also traveling again. A Rolling Stone gathers no moss, and a traveling Mike can't stream very well. So traveling next week, cannot stream, so you're going to have to wait another week, and then I'll be back. And then I don't think I'll be traveling for a couple more weeks. There'll be a stint in summer where I have to travel, but I'll have a couple of consistent weeks. But next week, no episode. And I think I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing today. So the one thing I wanted to mention, what I'm hoping we can focus on is the same bug we were looking at last week, and maybe the week before. I don't actually remember. Let me actually take a look at what we were doing last week. I gave an update here. Yeah, it was the same bug. And we were trying to get perf to work on Linux, and that was like a really exciting time. It ended up not being super helpful, but what was helpful was a similar tool on Mac OS. So it turns out I'm actually able to reproduce I don't super want to go into the details because if you want to know more about the problem and what we're trying to solve, I recommend actually watching episode 140 because I go in deep. But basically, we removed a thing from the code which should make it go faster, but it actually made things go slower, and I wasn't sure why. And profiling didn't seem to help. And we were trying to use a tool called perf on Linux to profile all of the threads to try and figure out what was happening. That was a big kerfuffle. I don't think it really ended up giving us too much in the way of being too much useful data. But off camera, last week, I sort of cracked the case. Or maybe it was just after the episode aired. It was a couple days after the episode. I cracked the case. And there is a comment here that kind of explains what's going down. Right. Where is it? Here, 9 days ago, so just over a week ago, cracked the case. So cracked the case right here. If you want an explanation of what's going wrong, but basically we are bypassing a script cache in the content process due to a race, and so I'm opening the window, the window of time in which we cache things. That ended up being the solution, and I have patches to do all of that. But the problem right now, I landed all that stuff, and I had like a shutdown leak. Well, yesterday I was able to fix the shutdown leak, and I have a patch up for review. But now I did like another try push, and it's really this is really frustrating. I'm going to show you the tool we use to compare try pushes. So these are my two try pushes. There's a baseline here. Ignore all of the orange. I'm not sure why these are orange, but this is the baseline, so it's really just a copy of Central. That's my baseline. So I'll compare with my baseline, and then the patch that gets rid of or opens the window a little bit wider and removes the XBL binding is there. And then when I actually do the comparison, I'm just going to pull the data. This might take a second. Because I think it's a lot of data. I did 5 runs here of each Talus test, 10 runs over there. It's a one metric buttload of data. But basically what we're dealing with is a TS paint regression. And I can actually reproduce this on my Linux machine, on my Linux VM. And that's the only one that reported the regression, is the Linux VM, or the Linux try build. So let's actually take a look while we're waiting for the numbers to come up. And let me just bump up the font a little bit. Let me sign into my Linux VM. And then, right, so where are we? So I'm at the tip of a recent pull from Mozilla Central. I've put all my patches on top of it. And then what have I done since then? Just want to get the current state swapped into my head. Meanwhile, this is taking forever. I'm going to hard reload. Maybe there's a caching issue. There's no in-flight requests. What's the dealio? Well, I can't really show you the comparison because the compare tool appears to be broken. So and then I added some logging in there. I guess I can get rid of that for now. But basically, what seems to be happening is that we regress the TS Paint Talus test. The TS Paint Talus test measures the time to first paint when you start up the browser. And so we seem to be regressing that a little bit, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to assume it's because the script preloader, which is the thing that ended up being involved with the original problem, I'm going to assume that that's involved. I'm going to rebuild. I'm going to only choose the first couple of patches. I'm going to pop a couple of the other patches off of the list. So let me show you the patches that we're dealing with here. I've got patch. I'm right here right now. I added this like new notification event, notification that fires after the browser window has had some time to be idle, and then I made the script preloader wait for that notification before writing the cache to disk. And I suspect that that is what's causing the regression, and I would like to confirm that. So unfortunately, like, linking takes a long time. Like, I don't know why linking has started to take so long on my Linux machine. Part of me wonders if it's like it's time to use like the gold linker or something. But like linking libzool takes forever. Let me quickly check my mail, our dev platform, to see if there's anything about linking. Maybe we can improve today. Oh yeah, here are the Talus results. We can take a look at. So we actually improve this test significantly. Session restoration gets quite a bit better, but a number of these. So this TS Paint one's the only strong one. The other ones here, we're not entirely certain. The confidence is low that there's much of a regression there, but like the TS Paint opt is like, we're pretty sure, and it's only on Linux 64, which is unfortunate. So let's take a look at the archive, see if there's and linking finished, so that's nice. But let's take a look and see if we can get a score for TS Paint on the Linux VM. And meanwhile, let's see if there's anything in here about the gold linker. Linking with LLD instead of gold link. This is back in 2017. Also has LLD4 packages on repos. Install. Is there any plans to update that using new clang? Maybe it's time to update. Checking for linker LLD. Is that what we showed? Let's see. Let's take a look at what happened when I ran mock build. Woo! Actually, I probably should have waited. Shoot, you know, I probably screwed up the test run just now. So that's probably invalidated the test run because I was like blocking up the console. But I should try and run the configure step. Is there like a mock? Grab configure. Configure the tree, run configure and config sass. So yeah, maybe I should run mock configure at some point just to see if I'm using the LLD linker. Do I even have LLD? Let's see. I don't. So that's probably a problem. So maybe this is a way we can get building to be faster. Yeah, it was using like libzool linking was like crazy slow. You should have clang and clang version 3.8. So maybe I'm just like way behind and I need to update. That'd be nice. Okay, so value 968.0. Let's do a couple runs here. So this is with I'm going to take some notes here. So this is the TS Paint regression. This is with script preloader, still using browser, delayed startup finished, but all of the rest of the changes. Still with scroll bar empty binding, because we're in kind of like this middle state with some of the patches. So value is 968.0. Let's run it again. Scooby-Doo. How are all the people on the internet? I don't know if anyone is actually watching this on Twitch or anything, but how are you all doing? If you have questions about Firefox, I can also try and answer them while we're waiting for this stuff. Hang on, let me close the door. I feel like that'd be better. That way I'm not disturbing people outside. Okay, so our score was 980. Okay, so let's copy that. Copy that. Now let's add those two patches again. But first, I'm going to run mock configure. Checking for linker BFD. I'm using BFD. That's the old one. 34 seconds. Yeah, let's get that good stuff. So let's see if we can update. Hopefully this doesn't like involve me having to rebuild or something. It probably will. Shoot. Like I don't want to have to rebuild everything. But let's try mock bootstrap. Getting all the good stuff. Install my. Running a new Mercurial, that's great. Wow, I guess I just haven't updated this machine in a while. Install 4.6, great, and Rust is new enough, that's nice. Mercurial, yeah. No. Yeah. Getting clang now. Ooh, yeah, what clang? This is going to be great. New clang, new builder. This will help, hopefully down the road, make everything faster. Who knows which version of clang this is. But I'm pretty excited. Sorry that this doesn't allow us to work on the problem right away. We can theorize a bit about it while this thing happens. What could be going wrong? Let's write out some ideas. Hypotheses. So these are measurements down here. TS Paint regression, that can be like a header of some kind. Whoa, too big. So hypotheses. Oh, and what did we get? Clang version. Still have 3.8. What the deuce? LD. Don't have it. What did we have before for clang? 3.8. Sudo apt-get uninstall clang. Sudo apt-get purge clang. Yeah. Clang. Mock Mercurials. One sec. One sec. Have to do a couple things off screen here. Gotta open up my HGRC. 1 sec. Mercurial setup. Do it. Failed. Falling from version control. Failed to evolve. Failed to import extension. No module named evolve. Sorry, this is just going to take me a quick second. Yes, go get it. Just have to like register a thing. And that involves me like yeah, that involves me opening my HDRC, which has some API tokens in it, which I don't want you to see. So I apologize. And clang. And now it's installing. All right, so I can bring this over now. Now we're installing Clang. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sorry if that was a little bit boring, watching me do stuff off screen. Maybe now we can. Oh. What? So where's my Clang at? Do I have to open up my Moz config again? Or Vim? Moz config E. Ccache. What happens if I do mock configure? What happens now? What does it say for linker? Couldn't find Clang. What? Is that because what? Mock configure wouldn't have to do with the fact that alright. Let's take a look here. So what did it find? It's using G++, so it's using all the old stuff. It's not actually using Clang. That's annoying. Mozilla, Firefox, Linux, Clang. Piling with Clang. Clang. No, move. You say Clang preferred. Local builds prefer Clang GCC by default. First, you can add saying GCC. GCC equals GCC. Okay, and then do I actually have that yeah, prefer Clang and local developer builds. So what's the dealio? Export, enable release, enable developer options. Depends on default. Developer options. How do I build with Clang? Do I just have to? I thought I was installing Clang whenever I used like mock mercurial setup. I guess not. I guess on Linux I have to actually install Clang like this. I think what I had before was like what I needed. Shoot. I have to get install Clang. And it's giving me 3.8 again. Yeah. So this may have been a fool's errand. Like, what's it finding for the linker? Linker. Where are you, linker? Linker, BFD. Come on, how come I can't use LLD? LLD. For the most ones, having an LLD version. Link LLD. I think I might be getting distracted. Please try out LLD link. Clang CL builds. Speed, 20 second love duels. Speed again. How do I get started? Building. So that's on Windows. Mock bootstrap. Linker. Compiling. Does it say anything about LLD here? I want to try using LLD. Yeah. To use it, add the following mouse comparing AC add options. Maybe I just have to do this, and then we have to clang install 5.0. apt cache search clang. Clang 5.0. So maybe that's what I'll do. Sudo apt get purge clang, and then apt get install clang 5.0. What? Clang dash 5.0. Yeah, do it. Clang, clang, clang. What? Alright, and then I need to like say something. Clang. Clang version. Clang. Clang dash 5.0. Okay. How do I like force a specific version of Clang? Okay. Is there like an LLD 5.0? LLC? Not really. This is all, I think, a distraction. Let's not do this right now. Purge that. We'll worry about linking times on. I'll do that on my own time. I think this is a distraction. Let's reinstall Clang normal, and should be hooked up. Okay, great. So what we determined is that, oh no, don't open that. We have these scores with script preloader still using the old notification. Now let's go back to the bad case, our current case. Let's go to tip and see if there's any difference there. Woof. That's a lot of spew. I think we might actually be recompiling everything. Hopefully not. Yikes. All of my silly compiler fiddlings may have resulted in us having to recompile, which would really blow. Let's take a look and make sure that we're doing this in distributed format. Using ice cream to do the distributed builds because that's the fastest. Seriously? Why am I not? doing distributed builds right now. Oh, there it is. I think. So I'm doing builds. That's beast mode. But come on, schedule some parallelism, right? Or do you feel like I don't need to be parallelized? I don't actually know what's happening right now. But normally the scheduler dispatches a bunch of jobs out to the other machines. I don't know why that's happening. Yeah, I need to restart my daemon. Oh, now it's just linking. Great. Well, fantastic. And that's not a thing I can do in parallel. Let's go back to our hypotheses while it's linking. Hypotheses. The scripts that we run for TS Paint aren't being cached in the script preloader properly. 2. The scripts that we run for TS Paint are being cached, but the cache isn't as fast anymore. I feel like at least some of this can be determined via logging. Alright, it's done compiling most of everything, so now it's like doing the last bits. Great, okay, so now that we've wasted some time, let's run, I'll just do it this way, mock talos test TS Paint, and we're going to ask for you to run it on display 1. Now, just to refresh my memory, there's no like specific, it's just TS Paint, opt build, e2nes enabled, stylo. Okay. And stylo is the default configuration. I also wonder if this regression is, like the signal is strong enough, we might not have to do so many repeats each time. Value is 880.0. That's lower. That's lower than we expected. That's very interesting. Let's run it again. So it seems like maybe my hypothesis was wrong based on that information. I mean, maybe it's something else in between those two patches. So like what were we looking at here? I guess I can turn off IceMon. Yeah, 888. So that's lower. So let's try and do a base. This is with all patches applied. Now a baseline with none of the patches applied. That's here. Build here. Link a little bit. Linking step. So, I mean, that blows a couple of these hypotheses out of the water. Maybe. What are the other patches that we're dealing with here? So what do they do? Let's take a look. What? Okay. So the first patch removes non-ETNS support for Go Quit application, and Go Quit application is something that's used in the TS Paint test because it's quitting the browser and starting it up again. It uses Go Quit application. This is more of a cleanup. I don't think that's involved. And then I got rid of the window.close call inside a couple of these tests. Let's take a quick look here. That's T-resize and TS Paint. I got rid of the window.close call here. That really shouldn't matter, but you never know. So now we're going to do our measurement here while we examine the rest of these patches. And then I added the new notification here. I added it for Fennec. That should definitely not impact things. This may have impacted. I make Talos wait until that notification before actually doing the quit. And I'm pretty sure that's working properly. Top win and top win, browser net, and browser net idle task finished. This is what I was logging before, and it seems to work properly. And then I make session restore, wait for that, and then I modified the script preloader to wait for it. So now I'm at 883. That's in the baseline. So maybe I can't reproduce this locally. That'd be a real pain if I cannot reproduce this locally on Linux. And then the next question is, can I reproduce it locally on Mac? So maybe I should take a quick peek at my tree. Kick off a build locally. I assume I'm with so yeah, I'm sorry you can't really see what's going on there. I'm calling mock build. And that baseline, oh, the value went way up. Weird. Let's do it again. I don't know what's happening there. Build with default. Mock build. What are we waiting for? There you go. Okay, and our score there was 907. Interesting. So we're actually on my Linux box improving our score, it seems. We've consistently been better. That's crazy. Or we haven't consistently been better. I mean, we were worse here, but it's like I don't see the problem just yet. So let's. What are we gonna do? I guess first of all, maybe we can take a look at some of the logs of these test runs, the ones that do a little more poorly. Linux 64. A78867E, and that's what I've got here, right? 8. Not exactly. BD239. Yeah, okay, that's the same. And then there was a message on top. So that's the same code, and then we're saying that over here, Talos, E10S, other is where the TS Paint test runs. We're scoring too high. High is bad. Let's take a look at the data here. TS Paint. Starting the TS Paint test. Anything in here jump out? Started the process. Get info. Browser initializes. There's a pipe error here where we quit such that we shut down some pipe. 23389. When we exit right here. Do we have that in the good case as well? Oh, wait, this is yeah, try. Yeah. Let me just filter my own try pushes here. In the base case, the good case baseline, TS Paint was 202. Let's take a quick look at the log. This is the good case. Starts TS Paint test. We get the same error here. Two five seven four one. Interesting. One thing I've noticed is that we have this like exception over in the good case where like we're like having a problem loading form autofill content.jsm for every time we run the test. In the good case. So we can't load it, which means we don't run it. Interesting. Is it possible But somehow by fixing that, wait, where does that occur? Chrome utils. A couple of places. Who's printing that out? $790. It happens here and here in the Bootstrap script. It happens here when we load a process script. But that's inside the parent process? We'll do this inside the parent process as well as the content processes. Is there a known bug with the form auto? This might be a red herring, but let's take a look here. Form autofill content. Nope. Did anything in here change recently? The other thing that kind of before the feature, if the feature should be registered for checking if the feature should be enabled. Right. It's very interesting. Do I have that problem in my local builds? Where am I right now? Am I at the tip? No, I'm at the baseline. Did we see stuff about form autofill not loading properly? No, I don't see that. I wonder if that's related to why I'm not seeing the problem. Let's paint. When would form autofill be loaded? It should be pretty early on, and then in startup, we run this. How's my local build doing? Getting there. So this might be an interesting thing to test. Well, let's see if it's consistent. In our baseline, this is the baseline. Are they all complaining about form autofill not loading properly? Seems like it. That one. Yep, that one. And in the case where I removed the where I apply the patches, are there any of them that complain about form autofill? See, this one does, but only once. 205. So we did it once and it scored 205. That one also only happens once. I wonder, so if I'd like to be able to reproduce that literally anywhere. The good news is that it's reproducible on Linux 64. In the base case where we can do artifact builds. So maybe, what do I want to do here? Form autofill is enabled. We do ship it. Turn it on. It's just that in some cases, in the good case, we fail to import it, like a lot. That means we probably fail to run it, which might mean that we execute faster because we've thrown an exception and not actually run some code. Form autofill content. And what's in there? Yeah, like a lot of JavaScript. And then an init function that's called right away on import. And where happens, where's the init? Adds some observers and like gets some stuff and calls profile autocomplete ensure registered. Registers some stuff, constructs an autocomplete factory, which like is just an empty object, so that's okay. But like we have a hunch here, hypothesis. This one actually there's some smoke here. Form autofill content.jsm normally fails to load during TS Paint, and my patches make it so that it actually does load and execute, which takes time. Because yeah, I mean, looking at the way that bootstrap.js is coded, load process script, all this should happen before first paint. Yeah, that should happen before first paint, I think. All right. Well, what do we do with that hypothesis? It'd be great if we could reproduce it here. Maybe I can reproduce it using... how could I reproduce it? If I enable chaos mode, I think that's what it is. Mouse chaos mode. Chaos mode is the special mode that our gecko looks at to try and like change ordering of things and make it easier to smoke out intermittent tests. Running in chaos mode. You know what else I should do? I should do this and like pipe everything to a file. And then I should read that file. What? It's not actually doing it. Nah. Output.log. Can I just do that and then like say some standard? Wait, how does this work? I think we have to like tell it send logging log raw. Oh, come on. Why aren't you... You'd think I'd know how to do this. Log mock dash standard out to output.log. Or it takes a file name to write or dash to write to standard out. That's what I want you to do. Equals dash. Maybe log raw. Options specified for unused formatters have no effect. Log or maybe I need to like provide a raw level debug. Shoot, for goodness sake. All right, this is insane. This is silly. Let's just run. See if we can like go through the things manually here. I don't see. Someone for activity stream. For shutting down. For shutting down, I'm seeing like Let us, what run is this? We're done. Okay, so let's go up through the log and see what we can see here. I see like activity stream stuff. So I might be able to confirm some things, like my intuition on the order of events locally. Activity stream prefs again. Like, let's see here. If I browser extensions, you can't see this, I'll bet. Let me bring this up. Browser extensions form autofill bootstrap.js, and then if I like loading in parent process, that'll be like if services.app or services dot, what was it, services app info dot process type, yeah, process type equals services dot app info process type default else if services app info process type equals services app info process type content loaded in content process else dump loading in process with type services.appinfo.process type. Right. Let's see what happens when I mock build faster. And then I'm just gonna do chaos mode again. Yeah, loads in both before we paint somehow. So I think this feels like a lead to me. We might be onto something. How's my local build doing? So going back, why would it fail? If that is indeed the problem. So one way we could confirm this is by just disabling form autofill somehow. Like if I, in the bootstrap code, let's do that. First of all, what do we have? Just that logging there. So I can do that and push to try. I'm just gonna do try push on Linux. I'm gonna do an artifact build so it's fast, and I'm just gonna do the other test. So Linux 64 artifact build, opt only, Other, I'm going to do 5 retriggers just in case. So form autofill content logging baseline. All right. Blah de blah, blah de blah. Permission denied. Page add. Oh man. All right, hold on a second. Eval. This is so silly that I have to do this. But I do. So we're gonna push to try, and I'd love to get this local build done before the episode ends. I'm gonna end it in about 22 minutes. And then the next thing I want to try is the baseline and the patch, but with form autofill disabled. So we're gonna let's add a new section here. Let's test the hypothesis that form autofill content is related to the regression here. So try push with Talos with TS Paint other running, or hang on, baseline with form autofill content logging. I'm gonna put a link. That's this one. And now I'm gonna revert, and now I'm just gonna disable form autofill. And the best way to do that, I guess, is to content or browser extensions form autofill bootstrap. It's available. So I guess to return false here, say we're not available. Baseline with form autofill not available. And for this, we're going to do 10 retriggers, not 5. We're going to do 10 retriggers of the TS Paint test. Because I actually want to do comparisons and not just look at logging. Actually, I think I want to do this in the other. Do I have? Let's just try it. Oh god. All right. I have to do this again because I don't I didn't have it in this Biobu screen session. What a pain. Okay. So that is gonna be baseline with form autofill disabled. Now, why would form autofill be disabled? Why would form autofill be disabled? Whoop. So that's good. And now, update to tip. Alright, we're gonna push patches. And this can't be an artifact build, unfortunately. Now let's take a look at how our try builds are doing. I doubt that they're far enough along, but you never know. Pardon that sound. Yeah, we're still deciding here. Boo, everything's slow. Okay, base, so patches with form autofill disabled. Well, you know, just compiling servo stuff. You never know when that's going to be handy. That's stylo compiling. Like, are we even using the Ccache stuff? Looks like no. All right. So there's that. Now, in the event that this hypothesis is this is the correct culprit here, I think the actual solution is to just like eat the regression. Like, we were doing something wrong before. Form autofill should load in the common case. So the fact that we weren't loading it is a bit funky and weird. And I don't understand how that works. And that's kind of what I'm hoping we can find out with some of these try pushes. So we got that URL? Yeah, okay, great. Great, so that stuff's cooking. I've got a local build cooking. Maybe I could try reproducing stuff on that. What do I want to do in the last 15 minutes or so? Great question. Let's see if I have anything to review. I'll open up a separate window, and that way I can look at my review queue and not worry about you seeing stuff you're not supposed to see. I actually have no reviews in my queues. I have a lot of need infos. Maybe I could try answering some of those. Let's see. Okay, I'll try and answer a couple of need infos. Actually, let me queue up a couple here. Okay. Oof. Yeah, the build's stealing CPU cycle. That's why everything is so slow. I'm just like, my CPU is just going crazy right now. Okay, here's the first neat info. Since the last 1 to 1.5 weeks, I've been seeing experience while switching tabs. Open a web page, the web page is Nero's. Open a slower internet, have a slower internet connection. Open your own the background tab, switch to it, see spinner. I was needed for this, however, I've been using web runners as my primary engine. I see the spinners. Spinners don't last long, typically less than a second. The best diagnosis performance profile would be super helpful here. Can you please, next time you see this, can you please add one? And bounce back the neat info. And what else? Windows version of, oh shoot, an 8% session restore on Windows regression. What is this? So when did the first blank paint land? That landed on March 21st. Was available on March 22nd. We saw on April 9th, where's March? March 21st. So when it landed, we didn't see an improvement. And things improved here. And things improved here. And things improved here. What were those? That was an improvement from new hardware. Okay. So we switched to new hardware. That was over here, and then over here, March, or wait, March 30th. Yeah, that was the new hardware. Then on April 12th, that's there, or no, here, we saw an improvement. Why? How would that have gotten better? I need to be looking. Oh, hang on. What was that merge from? That was a merge from inbound. So hopefully I can find out what it was on inbound. And then this one. This one was also from inbound. So let's take a look at the same data, session restore, opt, etns, stylo, but instead of inbound, we'll look at, oh, green is inbound. Or green, orange is inbound. So it must be from Autoland. Autoland. 3264, session restore. Come on. This one, okay. Do an empty paint when skipping the actual paint for a blank window. Oh, that might be this. So restore menu windows, session restore. So what do we do here? If avoid starting the GPU process for the initial navigator blank window. So we start the GPU process. Keep sending us messages. This might be this bug. 8%. The magnitude's different. And this is the one we're looking at right now. Wait, no, is it? I think we're looking at... Yeah, beta. Redirecting to Florian. Do you know why early blank first paint might have bought us some session restore when that we're no longer seeing? Redirecting. Well, hang on a second. There are a few possibilities here. One, we shipped a regression that was made invisible by we shipped a regression in the non-blank window case shipped, but didn't detect this until now. What Dow fears in comment 4. 2, what's the other thing? This regresses, enabling blank first paint, enabling blank window, some follow-up work, blank window, non-blank first paint window, blank first paint window, some follow-up work to blank first paint window caused a performance improvement on session restore tests, bug such and such. And by disabling that first blank first paint window, those gains are have been lost. Follow blank cost performance in only the configuration where blank first paint window is enabled. I guess there are a few possibilities here. What would be useful is if we could backfill a little bit. Hi Golden, do you have the cycles to trigger some nightly builds between April, May, June, between when the feature was enabled, which would have been when or March 21st or March 22nd, so March 22nd until now, but with the feature disabled. So nightly Talos runs. Well, trigger some Talos builds on try between when the feature was enabled till now, but with the feature disabled. You can use, I think there's a way you can set a pref in the try chooser syntax. I think there's a way of setting a pref. I guess not. Whoops. Come on, CPU, keep up. What would be useful is if we could backfill a bit. Florian, do you have the cycles for this? How are we doing on our try builds and automation? Doing okay. We've got some builds running here. Why is this one taking forever, I wonder? It's just not updating. Just taking forever because it's just taking forever. All right, well, you know what? I think I'm gonna call it here. This has been a little frustrating, but I think I've got a lead here with the form autofill stuff. I'm gonna see it through to the end. Hopefully that ends up being the situation and we can explain away this Talos regression. And that's it. So hey, that was episode 141 of The Joy of Coding. Let's go back to the agenda, see if there's anything to mention. Yeah, just form autofill is the culprit. Tune in next time. Hopefully next time we talk, I can give you an update on it. Do let me know what you thought of the episode. Fill in the form here if you have the time. I read everything that comes in. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching episode 141 of The Joy of Coding. I will see you in 2 weeks, not next week, but the week after, because there's no episode next week. So I will see you then. Hey, have yourselves a great couple of weeks. I will see you soon. Thanks for being here. Take care, and bye-bye. Whoop, hang on, I gotta trigger the closing music. I've forgotten all my moves.
The joy of coding.
See ya.